Hey everybody, this is Evan with Let's Do This, and today I'm going to show you how to paint your kitchen cabinets with a factory finish without using a sprayer. So if you tried using gel stain like me, that stuff scrapes off. It doesn't go on very nicely. I was sick of having two-tone cabinets because we kind of bailed as soon as we got the tops done. You want to make sure to clean off all of your grease. All your work goes into the front end. All the prepping you do, all the sanding you do, it'll make all the difference on the back end product. So don't skip, don't skimp on any of these steps. Believe me, I love shortcuts. I'm a DIY guy. I get in trouble all the time for taking shortcuts, but do not do it with this, especially if you're taking all the time to do this. Just make sure you have enough time. You're going to have your kitchen in shambles for a few days. I ended up taking 3 days off of work for this, so I stayed home. I started this at 8 a.m. I worked until I got the kids home, hung out with them, put them to bed at 8, and then I worked again until midnight just to wake up at 8 the next day and start over again. And so 3 whole days of that, I still wasn't done. I still had to do stuff Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday. My second coat finally dried about 8 or 9 at night, and I got my last cabinet put on at about 10 p.m. with my handles. So said and done, took me a week with 3 whole days off of work doing this. So it's not a project you're going to get done in a day or two. I've talked to people that it took them a month to do it piece by piece, but I thought I was going to get done 3 days, but I neglected the fact that they have teams of people coming in and doing cabinets, not just one person. So you can definitely do it by yourself. The end product turned out really nice, but just I can't tell you enough. Have the time to do it. Use some patience, things that I don't typically have a lot of doing DIY stuff. So this is a real guy doing it that doesn't do it for a living, but my coworker at work had his cabinets done. He paid over $6,000 to have somebody come in and paint his cabinets in his kitchen. I mean, $500 an hour is what they charged, and it took him 3 or 4 days also. But that's his full time job, and he had a sprayer, so obviously he did it a lot faster than I could do mine. I didn't want to, I've used sprayers before. I've done my back shed with one, and I find that they're a hassle, being that I don't use them all the time, to load them with paint, have the right consistency of the paint itself, and then consistency when you're spraying it on. When I'm using a roller and a paintbrush, I know what I'm doing. I've painted rooms before. I've painted all kinds of stuff. Cabinetry, not so much, but furniture, things like that, walls, that stuff's fine. So here we're finally getting for the primer. I used Insulex, the Stix. I looked online too. I watched YouTube videos. That's the other thing. I'm kind of consolidating all the things that I found helpful and telling you, because yeah, you can find a video on how to sand cabinets, you can find a video on how to paint cabinets, you can find a video on how dry time, but I couldn't find one that just kind of explains everything as you go. So hopefully you find some benefit to this. Yeah, again, it just takes time. The better the paint, the more it kind of self levels. Keep that in mind too. So spend the money on the good paint. Do your research. I ended up going with the Benjamin Moore Advance, and that is a real good self leveling. And this is a really good primer product. This Stix is good stuff. You're going to see, of course, some of the gel stain come through, but once you put on your second coat of paint, you're not going to see it anymore. And you're going to see that in my final product. Um, Tape off good, sand it good in between coats. 120 for the first sand, the initial, and then 220 for everything after that. So after your primer coat, 220, after your first coat, 220, and then when you do your final coat, obviously you don't sand it when you're done. But whether you realize it or not, you have brush hairs coming off on here, you have dog hair, cat hair, whatever you have, human hair, chunks of paint that kind of dry to the roller as you go, because you're using that roller for an hour or so. So you're going to get some drying or chunking of the paint. that's going to come off, and sanding is going to get those chunks of paint off. And don't skip this step either. Use a dry or damp cloth, not a dry one, because that's going to stick the sanding dust to it a lot better. I ended up using a old comforter that I chopped up into pieces, so I had a nice amount of fabric to go through. Otherwise, I keep all the old socks that have holes in them and things like that, and I've used those for a lot of projects. Any kind of fabric that you can have. It's a lot to buy a whole bunch of shop towels, and I find the shop towels have a lot of fibers on them that come off, so I don't actually like using those too much for painting. So coat 1 is done over the primer. So now I'm starting to see some fruits of my labor. And now we got to do the bottom. 2 coat is obviously going to take a little longer than a single coat on everything, but this is what we wanted. I like having the 2 different colors in a kitchen. Kind of separates it all. And I didn't want to whitewash the whole kitchen. I wanted a little bit of separation. And then the blue kind of hides scuffs and marks. And, you know, we got kids, so things are going to get dinged up a little bit. Cabinets are going to get slammed and hit. So I think the blue will hide that a little bit more. So I use a roller for the big parts. Use a brush for the corners. And you can see how well that evened itself out. You can't tell where I brushed compared to where I used a roller, and that was real important for me. Again, buying my paint and supplies and everything was only $326, and you get a finish like this. I was really happy with how it turned out, and this is what it's all about, that nice peel once you're done painting. I looked up a lot of different things, and they actually said peeling before the paint is all the way dry is better than waiting till it dries, because you can actually pull paint away. It kind of self-adheres. So when you pull it away when it's dry, you might actually pull the paint off your workpiece. So go ahead and pull that paint tape off while it's still wet. It's kind of like pulling that plastic off a new TV or a new tablet when you get it. It's just that nice, satisfying peel. So if you want to see more DIY projects like this, I'm typically usually doing something around the house. I did a theater room ceiling, acoustic ceiling. I covered my popcorn ceiling in the basement with paneling, put some trim on that. I did built-in cabinets where there weren't any next to my fireplace. So usually 1 or 2 big projects a winter time. In the summer, I'm pretty busy going up north, fixing up some land I have up there. So I'm just DIY through and through. My full-time job, I'm a physical therapist assistant. I don't talk about that very much. I used to be a butcher for 10 years. So I got a lot of different irons in the fire. But one thing I don't like to do is spend money on unnecessary things that I can do myself. And don't ever say you don't have enough time. I got 2 kids. I'm primarily the one doing laundry and cooking and do a lot of the cleaning. Wife helps out a lot. I'm not saying she doesn't, but I mean, it's 50-50 for sure. And then I still find time to do all these projects and things. So you just got to get good at putting down that video game controller, stop scrolling, doing whatever you do. I'm not trying to bash anybody that does that stuff. You need your downtime, but for sure you can carve out some time to do some stuff around the house too. I was getting some pretty good technique down by the time I got on my second coat of, 1 coat primer, second coat of paint on the second side of the cabinets for sure. That's a nice thing, is by the time you're done, I mean, you're going to get pretty quick at this, doing the sides first, and then you start filling from the outside in. You never want your paint roller too gloppy when you do the edges, because you're going to get it dripping down onto the floor. So I usually run it once or twice in the middle of the panel, and then I do the outsides. So that's one tip I got for you. But so I do the outsides first, take a paintbrush, I run it around the routed bit, and then I do the middle, and then I can even it all out, if that makes sense. I also have a Facebook Live where I paint a few cabinet doors without it being sped up or anything, if you want to go look for that too. And of course I have my Sky Zone band on because, you know, the kids always want to go, and Again, I just do this on my spare time I have, and hopefully get it done before Christmas, which I did. For your hinges, you want to tap those in lightly using a rubber mallet, or this is just a plastic mallet, because you don't want to crack your paint or crack your wood that you're putting it in, and then they'll have a few screws to put on. And this is where it comes in that if you needed to label your hinges, that comes in handy, because some hinges, like I kind of typed out before, they have adjustable depth and swing. So some cabinets swing further than others in some kitchens, not mine. All my hinges were the same. So here we go, putting it on. This is the first cabinet door, and this is really when I started getting excited and wanting to rush it. But I didn't, because I still had to put handles and hardware to put on. But make sure, yeah, put in those screws just a little bit, because you're going to want to lift it and shift it a little bit before you put it in super tight. And you'll see once I get them in a little bit, I can wiggle and jiggle the doors so I can get them even. I have a level I don't really show on video here, but I level it out and hold it in place while I screw them in the rest of the way. And then there you go. And when I shut it, I check the level on it and make sure they shut even. And do buy one of these templates, because these are a lifesaver. I marked out, you can see how dark the ones are. So then on every door, I know what ones I'm marking out. So I'm going to be drilling those out. And then I know right where my handles are going to go, and use a little something to catch your shavings, so then you don't have to keep wiping down the kitchen counter, because you're going to get shavings all over the place otherwise. So what I have, 13 cabinets, so I had to put on 13 handles. I put the same type of handles on the drawers and the cabinets. And then you can see the inside. That's a lot of people, you look it up, and always people are asking, should you do the insides of your cabinets too? Well, yeah, because you're going to see the back sides just as much, and you don't want to open it up and have it golden oak on the inside and have it white on the outside. And I'm done. Finally done. Finished. Oh my goodness, it took forever. But tell me if it was worth it. Put in all that work and effort, and hopefully if you're watching this to the end, you put in the time for all the prep, because it makes the finished job a lot more worth it. So yeah, I mean, if you can't handle a 13-minute video, you can't handle a 30-hour kitchen cabinet project. But at least this will let you know if it's something you want to try to tackle, or if you want to pay an outfit to do it yourself. So like, subscribe, share. Talk to you later.